everybody, and welcome back to the Broadway Jets YouTube channel. You'll know me from Twitter as NYJ Mike. I'm joined as always by the master of receipts, NYJ Matt. And Matt, it's a very special emergency podcast. The New York Jets just signed left tackle Tyron Smith to a one-year deal worth up to $20 million. He will protect Aaron Rodgers' blind side in an offense with Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. This is very exciting, Matt.
Yeah, and on day 5 of free agency, Joe Douglas is getting heat from a lot of people, including you and I. And be very upfront, a lot of heat. So day 1, day 2, day 3, we're thinking he's not going to make the big move. And you're in a win now year. Your career is on the line. Where's that big time move? I'd argued he made 2 in his entire career. Jamal Adams trade, Rodgers trade. Where is that big free agent move to put you over the top? And we kept saying, let it be Tyron Smith, let it be him. And he finally delivered. So credit to him, credit to the front office. You got 2 tackles, veteran guys who graded out amazing last year. And you completely rebuilt the offensive line in 5 days, Mike. 5 days.
Matt, yes, very, very happy. The thing that was surprising to me, the most surprising, is it really felt like, and this doesn't mean that this won't happen, but it really felt like David Bakhtiari was going to be a Jet. And in what capacity then would Tyron Smith fit in? And would the Jets do something like give him $20 million? I was not expecting that. I really thought it was just going to be Bakhtiari and you draft someone. So, Matt, it opens up all kinds of possibilities. This all goes back to the Morgan Moses trade, where you trade for Morgan Moses, who will be your right tackle. He's only getting paid $5.5 million. That gave you the flexibility now where you got John Simpson to be your left guard. You're only paying him $6 million. You could sign a tackle. You could draft one, blah, blah, blah. Now you have ultimate flexibility. Your line is set. So the Jets could do whatever they want at 10.
Yeah, and Mike, I think Bakhtiari is very much still in play. He gets to go with his best friend in New York City on a low deal that he can bring his body back to health. And I cannot believe, and again, a lot of hate our way because we didn't think he'd make the move.
Yes.
And he gets all the credit to do it. And every tweet I had that shit on Joe Douglas the past 5 days, the caveat was get a wide receiver 2 and Tyron Smith and all is forgiven. And he did half of it so far.
Yep.
And the people that are like, you were so negative, fuck you. Fair, right? Fair.
We're not unfairly negative.
We're like middle of the road negative, but because we're really like we built our accounts to be like the most positive people ever.
Yeah,
and if you are here, hit subscribe, like the video, comment. But my thing is, if the Jets didn't make any move and they went 7-10 again this year, those same people would be like, all you do is complain. And I'm like, no, give me the move to put us over the top. And Mike, they didn't get a left tackle. They got, when healthy, a top 5, top 7. And in his prime, like a top 1 tackle in the NFL.
This is a Hall of Fame left tackle that's going to protect your Hall of Fame quarterback with your young studs, Breece and Garrett. It just is the best possible move. It is. Like last year, and again, we give credit where credit's due. Just like last year, getting Rodgers was the best possible move. If you're going to move on from Zach Wilson and get a veteran quarterback, you got the Hall of Fame guy. They need a left tackle. You get the Hall of Fame left tackle. Again, tip my Santa hat that I'm wearing in March to Joe Douglas because it could be better.
Mike, can I take you back to 9 o'clock last night with my fiance, and Keenan Allen is traded for a 4th-round pick, and I'm like, fuck Joe Douglas. I hate everyone. I can't. I'm like, I'm saying horrific things out loud, and she's there, and she's like, oh man, like that must have been a good player that you really wanted. And then fast forward 24 hours later, I'm like, holy fuck. And she's like, you're so bipolar. And I'm like, that's the life of being a fan of the Jets because, again, I didn't think the move was going to happen. And Mike, you talked about flexibility. We've talked about it a lot. Now that you have 5 starting offensive linemen at 10 overall, you can take the top receiver available. You can still take the top tackle available, but then you kind of come into the predicament of your win now. You got 2 there. I get they're unhealthy sometimes. Do you take Brock Bowers? Do you trade back? Mike, you can do anything.
You could also trade up now. You don't have as many other needs. You could trade up and try to get
Yep.
someone else that you love, whatever you could do. Right, to your point, anything, and that's where the frustration stemmed from, because the Jets did a bunch of things. For the start of the free agency was bizarre. The Javon Kinlaw contract still looks like it's too much money. So that's where the frustration stems from, is that the Jets then started to make the moves to put themselves in the position to do just what this is. So you get Morgan Moses, you start restructuring people, and you're like, all right, did they do all of that just to like not re-sign Bryce Huff and then sign a bunch of mid-tier free agents and have a good chance to be fine next year, but it's not exactly what we wanted them to do. And then they go out and do this. You get the best possible guy, and you put yourself in the best position moving forward with the rest of your offseason. And it's the most excited I've been for moving along. Like, not the other than Aaron Rodgers, this is the most excited I've been for move in a very, very long time. Terrific move, Matt.
I know. It feels so good. And it's
Oh,
crazy how quickly things can change because
yep.
it really stems from the Moses move. Once you got Morgan Moses, you have your plug and right tackle, you start seeing the picture clearer. And we're still frustrated when big moves happen or receivers go for small compensation. And then I guess my one thought we talked about today, Mike and I FaceTime 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
Maybe was it yesterday? We talked very
No, we talked
recently.
today. It was today.
And I said that I do feel the Solomon Thomas contract,
Yeah.
Kinlaw, getting a big Samoan, 350-pound Samoan defensive tackle.
Yeah. And it would be Clowney.
And if you were to get Clowney, right, your defense, if anything's the same, if not better than last year. And losing Huff is brutal.
Yeah.
But you got more guys in the interior, and if you got Jadeveon Clowney, you can be better against the run than you were last year. That's just a straight up fact.
Yes.
So if our defense stays the same, if not got a little better, our offense got a better right tackle, a potential upgrade at left guard. We're hoping he's better than Lakin. And then we're really close. And if the 10th overall pick is going to be an offensive player, like, can we get one more big guy to shoot up the offense and make it that much better? And they got the guy available. So credit to Joe Douglas.
Oh,
I tweeted out the Always Sunny where it's like Joe Douglas is asleep, and then it's like, you dumb bitch. It's like, own it. I didn't think he's gonna make the move, and he did it, Mike. Huge move.
Listen, man, I want to give some credit to us for saying that. It just is the perfect move. I'm very, very happy. I lost again. You know what's interesting, and we've talked about this before on this show, but before last season, I did have a lot of confidence in Joe Douglas. I did. And then last season, we've talked about it a lot. The not getting a quarterback last year is insane. And it just made me like, I have trust issues, that if there's something that needs to be done and there's a really good option to get it done, and it didn't happen then. So then we got frustrated, but he did the right thing this time. This offensive lineman is just really good. It's really good. Now you have
and Max Mitchell and Carter Warren, who you needed to start multiple big games for you that have game readiness, or just backups now, right? And you can still draft more offensive linemen. But Mike, I loved your idea of trading up in the draft, and probably not a popular take right now immediately. But if you love Neighbors, you love Rome, you love a guy, and you can get him at 8, and I'm just going to get the top receiver on our board. Like, Jermaine Johnson was a top edge guy on their board. Yeah. And they got him at 22. If they feel like they can strike hot with their top receiver not named Marvin Harrison, and they get him, your offense is looking holy shit good. Like, really good now.
And again, I think people are discounting, first of all, just how good the Jets defense was last year with how poorly the Jets offense complemented them. There's no complementary football, and the special teams was very good, to be fair. But just have a drink, Matt. Come on, pour a drink. Let's go, dude. It's just like think about the Texans game last year, where the Jets were able to move the ball. Even in the first half of that game, I think it was 0-0 at the half, and they won 30-0 in the second half, or 30-6, whatever it was.
Yeah.
The Jets moved the ball up and down the field. Then they scored some points in the second half. The defense didn't have to play a million drives. We're going to see a lot of that this year, Matt, where it's just normal offense, We have a real line. Rodgers gonna have time to throw. It just is gonna work. It's going to work.
I've had a few glasses of wine, so I might have a really bad take here. Might be a really bad take. Sometimes when I watch other teams' offensive lines, they just feel bigger and stronger. They just feel like monsters on the offensive line. And sometimes I watch Billy Turner, who looks like a glorified tight end, or like Max Mitchell, and I'm like, I don't feel like we have monsters. Is that a fair take? And now that you get three guys who Morgan Moses always felt like that guy.
He's a
Now
big
you have
dude.
Tyron Smith and John Sims is like a massive dude. Like, are we just an insane offensive line in terms of like we will watch them on Sunday and be like, holy fuck, we actually built the wall. Like we
Dude,
built the wall. We've been
you
saying,
built the wall, and you have a guy. You have AVT. You're
of
forgetting about
course.
AVT.
But like, I'm thinking net new.
No, not you. Like just in general. Like people
And
aren't talking
Pittman
about
is like a
AVT.
6'6" center. Like, what the
He was
fuck is
6'6".
happening?
He's tall, dude. We had a great basketball team. If these
We
guys,
need Rodgers to grow like 3 inches to throw over
he's
these
not gonna be
maniacs.
able to- He can only throw sideways. Dude, it's just they should just run that screenplay to Garrett Wilson that they did in the preseason every play. But dude, like I just can't even. I can't even. I don't have any more articulate thoughts. It's just really happiness. It's good. It's just finally like we've been waiting for this move for a while. You know,
It
we
happened on
said
day
it.
5. Do we
Well-
feel in hindsight? Because we had history for our take that we didn't think Joe Douglas was going to do it.
No, that's the only reason why we were frustrated with Joe Douglas.
But also, I look back at my tweets. I wasn't that much of a negative asshole. I was like, "Can you please get Tyron Smith?" And I have so many people that DM me or tweeted at me like, "See, like you overreacted," and I'm like,
I don't know.
I'll give you your win, but like, can you be happy too instead of just only being happy that I was a little negative for a little while? Like, I need a bit of a balance here.
The Keenan Allen one is interesting because, again, I was talking to my buddy today about this, where it's not good. What's the word? Like it's not like a healthy fandom to be really mad at your team for not acquiring an individual player because it's just one guy. It's unrealistic. Like, what if they don't like Keenan Allen or there's a reason why? Whatever. So it wasn't exactly that the Jets didn't get Keenan Allen yesterday. It was the fact that Joe Douglas, it feels like, has been in these positions and just hasn't got the right guy. And that's fine, but it feels like we've disagreed with his choices of who to acquire. And then when those choices don't work out, it's frustrating. So at least if the Jets are going to not work out, we are doing it in tandem thought with the Jets. And they got the guy that we wanted. They did. So now if it's wrong, now we're just wrong, which is fine. That feels better.
That is the most important thing is that he built the offensive line like we want him to.
We wanted it.
If it goes in flames, I'll own it, right?
Yeah.
But the thought about taking a receiver at 10 now, or at 8, or at 12, like you start doing the math, you're like, holy shit. It is like
we need a receiver at 10. Dude, I didn't imagine before the free agency we're 100% taking a tackle at 10. 100%. I would have bet my house.
The other thing about the Keenan Allen trade is like I do give Joe Douglas credit for going all in on Tyreek Hill when it didn't happen. And
yes,
he even said after
that.
He was like, fuck, we did like a deep dive into what we did wrong. Like, what could we have done better to get him? But another hindsight, you take Garrett Wilson with that pick, and we now saw what Zach Wilson was. And like, would it surprise you if Tyreek Hill would have demanded a trade 8 weeks into playing with Zach Wilson? Like, probably. Like, it would have been really bad. So, like, is there another move out there? Because you can't, and this is where I will put my hand up and say you can't trade for Keenan Allen's $21 million and probably survive the Tyron Smith $20 million.
No, it's not happening either. It's not happening.
So if you would have told me at 9:30 last night that, hey, you're going to not get Keenan Allen in a 4th round pick, but you're getting Tyron Smith, I would sign on the dotted line. And the point that we're trying to make, that we keep harping on, we won't harp on anymore, is we didn't think that he was going to make the move. That's why the Keenan Allen at the time, we were like, just do that. And they're probably going to get David Bakhtiari for $2 million.
Yes, exactly. That's couldn't be more well said.
Have you had some drinks tonight?
No.
No?
Do I say I feel like I have drinks? I was just
You're
on a
sober?
podcast with. I went on to.
You're sober right now?
I'm sober. Why? I look weird? Really?
You
What the
look great.
fuck?
You look great. No, you look great.
Do I look insane?
No, I thought you were having a few drinks. Like, I don't know.
I went on. My buddy has a Bills podcast. I went on the podcast and we just talked for like an hour and a half. So I'm all over the place.
Did it
I'm
happen?
moving.
Do it have your live reaction when it happens?
I have it. I got to pull it up. It's amazing. It was funny too because we were talking at that point in the podcast. This is a long podcast, it's like over an hour, and at whatever point it was like 40 minutes in, we're talking about the Jets left tackle situation, and I already brought up Tyron Smith earlier in the video, but I was literally going to either say I think they're going to get him or Bakhtiari, and I said I think they're going to get Bakhtiari, and then the guy's like, "Hold on, I have breaking news. The Jets just signed Tyron Smith." I'm like, "Fuck."
Do you think he was fucking with you?
I thought he was completely fucking with me, but I was like, he didn't seem like the kind of guy that would be fucking with me. So
Good.
I was like,
Good
let's
guy.
go, dude, man, freaking out. Oh, it's a good feeling, man.
I would pay $1,000 for a video of me when the Keenan Allen trade happened last night to the video of me tonight. Like borderline psychotic behavior.
It's just
Borderline.
good, man. We put a lot into this, dude.
But like, Mike, what if you restructure JFM and extend DJ Reed and you just sign Mike Williams? Like what happens? Like what do they do?
I guess you just draft Brock Bowers. I don't know. You have an insane team. I also do. So now it begs the question. First of all, I have no idea how much money the Jets have now. I'm confused.
I think we're negative. I kept seeing all these people. We have 10 million left after all the contracts go through.
Yeah, I don't know. So because the David Bakhtiari one would be really nice. You figure you could combine Tyron Smith and David Bakhtiari into playing 17 games, and then you just have an elite left tackle.
Yeah,
as two men into one. Dude, I feel so good. I'm in the. I'm sober. What?
You look great. You look great. I don't know why.
Now I feel insane.
You look amazing. No, I was about to put on a good movie. I'm watching all the best picture winners of the past like 100 years. Like there's been 96 of them.
You're watching 100 movies?
I'm trying to watch every best picture winner. And I was like on your Hulu account trying to put on Nomadland. And I'm like ready to go, glass of wine down. And then the news hits, and I was like, I have to go. Like, we're not watching the movie tonight anymore.
Oh, it's so good. I got to call my dad.
I got to call your dad.
Oh, man.
I talk to your dad more
than
like 90% of my extended family. Like, I'll see like a cousin at like a barbecue. I'm like, ugh. And if I get a text from your dad, I'm like, let's FaceTime. Like,
oh, man.
All right.
This is going to be so fun this year, man.
Yeah. Dude,
that's such good news. Oh, man.
I thought it was going to be like a crazy, like 1 year, 12 million. And we'd be like, Joe Douglas fucking did it.
Yeah. This is fair, though.
Mike, if you gave him 30 million, I would not give a shit.
I wouldn't care.
I don't care.
That's the dude you pay. It makes sense. 20 million seems fair. Why? Calvin really should make more money than him?
No.
I would spit on that. I wouldn't do that 1 for 1, even if it was a 1 year deal. Not even close.
I love it. Oh. We'll be back. We've done 4 videos in 5 days. We're getting after it. If you did make it this far, I threw it out there last video. DM us on Twitter. My DMs are open. I think yours are open too.
Yeah.
If you made it this far and you're a fan of the channel, we appreciate you. We thank you. We will both follow back, of course. We love the people that watch and enjoy it. We can bullshit. Mike and I would do this over FaceTime. And then we were like, why don't we just record it and see if like 100 people want to watch it? So very happy that you watched. If you have not, think about hitting subscribe. You don't have to. Mike, any parting words at the 19-minute mark that you want to share?
I got to go sober up, I guess.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you.
It's a good day. All right.